Hi, so I wanted to come to you guys with a quick video. I actually just got out of the shower, and this is something that I try to do at least once a month, but it's dermaplaning my face. So what it basically is kind of just shaving your face. And for me, I like doing it because it helps to take off any of the dead skin that I have, or not any, but dead skin that I have on my face, maybe any of the rough patches that I might have, you know, left behind from, old pimples, just things like that. And especially coming off of that time of the week, or that time of the month, whatever, it just, my skin is a lot more dull. I don't know if maybe going through that process and hormonal changes, my skin just gets a little bit more dry, but at the same time, I feel like way more dull. It's almost like it's this extra circulation of cells when I'm coming off of my period, but it's just a weird time on my face. And so that's when it's always my reminder of, that it's time to kind of just do something a little bit more extra. So what I did is I've just went ahead and cleaned my face after coming out of the shower, and I actually got this. This was in the last Allure beauty box that I got, but it's Osea, but it's an ocean cleanser. I'll link everything down below, but it's just really nice and light, so I really like to start with a super clean face and just to make sure everything is clean. And then most people do like to do, the dermaplaning or shaving of their face when their face is dry. I personally like to put some kind of lubricant on it, and then of course I will wash that off, but just to have like a really smooth surface, so I'm not kind of like pulling and tugging and scratching at my face. So for me, I like to use, this is from Belief Cosmetic, and it's just, it's a water soluble moisturizer, but it's just really nice and light. As you can see, it's really, 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 really nice and light. So that's something that I can just kind of put all over my face and then start. And then the other thing I like to use, you can find these in any beauty supply store. I think you can find these anywhere, but I actually did order these from Amazon, and it's a 3-pack of foldable blades, and they just kind of, they're down, which is great for safety, and they just kind of open up. And so I already have one here, and yeah, they're really, really nice. I am going to invest, I think, in a more medical grade one, just because I know that the blade will be a lot more smoother. This does have some ridges to it, so you just have to be very careful. But for me, I've always used these and they've gotten the job done. So with that, let's go ahead and you can just watch me go ahead and get this done. And again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below, and don't forget to support and subscribe to this channel for all things fashion, lifestyle, home, and of course, skincare is a huge one for me. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start. So with this, there's no real rhyme or reason, or there's a reason, but there's no way specifically in any direction or where you start. I personally like to start by holding the skin just a little bit more taut and start on my cheeks, and then just kind of go this way and hold it in a slant. And it's kind of weird because you can actually, or I can actually hear like the shaving. I'm like, yep, I know I'm getting something off. So I like to just do smaller strokes and just kind of go across the chin, and just be careful. I do have some old blemishes, so I don't actually want to scratch any of those and cause any irritation, but it's just, holding the skin a little bit more taut and then just kind of going. So you can kind of see, it's gross, but there are things and little hairs and stuff coming off. I don't have a super hairy face, but I just love this process because, you know, once you're all done, you do notice that your makeup goes on a lot smoother. Products that you're using are able to penetrate the skin a little bit deeper because it's not trying to get through so many layers of dead skin. So this is great. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of continue on and yeah, check in with you guys at some point. I do also think that it's really important is to not just stop here, but to continue on. So I do try to go as low as I can, but since this is like a kind of an awkward position to get to, going upwards in an upward motion and holding kind of like my neck right here is a lot helpful. But just trying to, since I bring, you know, all of the skincare and all of the makeup down this way, I want it to be a really smooth transition. But again, I don't have a whole lot of hair on my face. So what I am pulling off definitely, as you can see, is just a lot of dead skin cells. So this is just another way to exfoliate your face on a deeper level. I think my hairiest place on my face, as you can see, is just right around my mouth. So this is, yeah, so gross. But that's just a lot of the hair and a lot of the dead skin. And it's really funny because it kind of creates like this shadow with the hair that I do have around my upper lip. And so in a lot of photos, I'll start to see like that shadowing, and I'll know that it's time for me to shave, or it just looks like this discoloration, and I'm like, oh no, I'm getting more hyperpigmentation, and then I shave and I'm like, no, it was the hair. So that's another good reason to do that. So yeah, lots of hair and just, yeah, build up around my mouth. But I feel like this is the oiliest place on my face and where I tend to get a lot more off. So it's definitely helpful. And if at all in any of this process you do feel that you need to reapply whatever moisturizer or solvent, or even a thin layer of shaving cream, whatever makes you feel comfortable to continue on, because of course by the time I get up here it may have dried out. With this, I think because it's a water-based moisturizer, as you can see, it's still really there. It's still really silky and, you know, ready for shaving. But again, if you do use something else and you find that it has dried out, just to protect your skin, I would definitely reapply before you get to that area. So going around the eye area, you just definitely want to avoid that as much as possible. Only because around the eye area, it's just so thin, it's so sensitive, so you don't want to go next to something or go next to it with something like this. So I try to just kind of do a swoop around here just to be protected. And of course, my eyebrows are already non-existent, so let's not try to shave those off. Okay, so sorry for the massive close-up, but as you can see, I am coming off of a huge blemish right here. So now, as you can see, for me, it always does this, where it gets like the dry patch right around it. And so that kind of will stay for a couple of days. And then once that kind of falls off, I get like this hyperpigmentation part, or it's the color, it's like a pink. It's already healed, but it's always just remains pink until, you know, the melanin kind of fills back in again. But I do like to go over it with the razor just to kind of take off that dead skin. But you can see I've had some like old ones and stuff like that too. So just be super careful. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna do. So that is just something that my skin always does after I get a huge deep pimple, is it just kind of, it will heal, it will go down, and then it will always get like a little, like a scab, the dry skin around it. And then it will kind of just stay like this for probably about, I wanna say probably about 3 days. And then it will just, as you know, next thing you know, I look and it just has disappeared. Another good thing that I like to use to kind of speed that up is vitamin C, and a natural vitamin C. So I will just make a DIY mask, and I will link that at the top, some of the masks that I like to use that help to brighten the skin, but just kind of adding, you know, some lemon juice and honey mix, and just kind of putting that on there. Just to kind of cleanse the face, brighten it. But I do notice that that helps quite a bit when I have blemishes like this. So of course, you know, the good thing is I can cover that with foundation just a little bit, but that's just something, a natural cycle that my skin goes through. So after just kind of doing all of that, I like to go over everything lightly. The trickiest part after kind of just doing all of this is just kind of coming down my nose a little bit and trying to get around this area. I know I can't get in everywhere, and with that, I will just kind of go in with an exfoliator, but I try to get in as much as I can, but of course, because of all the roundness, you just have to go super slow. So of course, if I do speed this up just to kind of get through this video, make sure that you take your time if you're just going over this area right here, just because of, you know, the ridges and the bumps and just everything else in the rolls. So you don't want to accidentally cut yourself. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm just going to go back again with the same cleanser that I used before, just to kind of get off any of the extra dead skin that maybe I scraped and didn't wipe completely off, and just to get any of the other, just any other gunk that I may have left on my skin. So I just want to go ahead and just cleanse the skin. And again, with this, you may notice that just whatever you use, you know, directly after you do this process, you might want to make sure, or you want to make sure that it doesn't have any alcohol in it, because it will burn. Your skin is freshly shaved. It's going to feel a little bit more sensitive. And so just kind of cleansing that and putting on a really lightweight moisturizer or a serum, just to kind of help just to kind of put that on the skin and just to protect it. And for sure, wear your sunscreen. Okay, and now that I've cleansed my skin, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a nice light moisturizer, starting with a serum. So this one is from Peach and Lily, and I got this one, and this was in the last Allure Beauty box for July, yes. And so this is a really nice light serum. So you can just kind of see it's really nice and light, and I'm just going to add that to the skin just to kind of add in back some moisture. And I'm just gonna let that soak in. And it's like you could just almost feel, it's almost like getting a fresh pedicure. Your face is just extra smooth, it's extra soft, and you can definitely feel the difference. And you'll definitely see the difference when you put on your foundation. It just comes off a lot more smoother and flawless. It's just really nice. This is one of my beauty tricks that I absolutely love. So thank you so much for watching. I love you for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and follow up with my SPF and just kind of go ahead and do my makeup for the day. But I wanted to show you guys one of my little tips that I like to use once a month just to kind of extra exfoliate my skin and just make it really smooth and bright. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.